Peace and love to all of humanity. I am Abdul Smith Bey, chairman of the WRC and head of state of Alodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Georgia. Today, we'll be reading over a proclamation to the president, Mr. Joseph Biden Jr., of the president of the United States and the president of the United States of America. Before we begin, I would like to have the the heads of state of the WRC Regional Council to introduce themselves, beginning with Alodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Colorado.
This is DeAndre Dre Bay, Wazir, Prime Minister from Alodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Colorado.
All right, this is Amir Hassan El from New Mecca.
This is Akil Zafan Yazin Bey, Wazir Arez of Meru State Republic.
Mia Moore?
You're muted, Mia Moore.
Islam, I am Mia Moore Bay, and Pam YZ.
I'm Kendi Bay, Wazir Arez, Prime Minister of Diamantez, Delora, Morocco, Prius, Texas.
Islam. And these are the six recognized Wazirs of the Wazir Regional Council. Today is April 26th, and I shall begin reading this proclamation. Wazir Regional Council, regional Moroccan organization in the Empire of Morocco. Proclamation, friendly relations during decolonization in the Moorish Empire. Greetings to the Empire of Morocco and to the United States of America. I am Abdul Smith Bey, the elected chairman and speaker of the Wazir Regional Council. The collective heads of state have made tremendous advancements in statehood amongst recognized provincial Moroccan states since February 28, 2021, in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations of 1945, Chapter 11. The collective Moorish sovereign states are proud to proclaim that the state of Alodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Colorado, the state of Alodia Morris Palladium of New Mecca, the state of Alodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Georgia, the state of Meru State Republic, the state of Alodia Moroccan Palladium, Ante, Michigan, and the state of Diamantez, Delorium, Morocco, Prius, Texas, have ratified, deposited, and promulgated a regional intergovernmental organization hereby known as the Convention in the Empire of Morocco Wazir Regional Council, noting that the convention is also known as the Wazir Regional Council or the WRC. Whereas the Wazir Regional Council Convention was deposited by all six Moorish states on or before April 24th, 2023, in conformity with their constitutional procedures. Scroll, please. Procedures, and in accordance with Articles 1B, 33, 55, 73, and 102 of the Charter of the United Nations. Wherefore, the Convention in the Empire of Morocco Wazir Regional Council entered into full force and effect on April 24th, 2023, and hereby proclaimed on April 26th, 2023. Wherefore, the Wazir Regional Council members heretofore recognize the convention as having full force and effect throughout the Empire of Morocco. Moreover, the Wazir Regional Council is open to all other recognized sovereign Moorish states and their heads of state, in conformity with the terms and conditions of the WRC Convention, inter alia, recognizing that the Wazir Regional Council shall be committed to instituting resolutions regarding political, administrative, judicial, economic, social, cultural, and military reforms to help set forth standard operating procedures and strict accountability among the interdependent Moorish governments, in accordance with the customary norms of international law, and in conformity with the various treaties, conventions, and arrangements made or which shall be made with the United States of America and other peace-loving states around planet Earth. Recognizing that collective Moroccan states created the concept of the Wazir Regional Council Convention as a multilateral agreement to assist native Moors with decolonization in each of the non-self-governing territories throughout the Moroccan Empire. Recalling that the native Moors' right to self-determination is founded on well-settled principles of human rights, Moroccan nationality, and the repatriation clause expressed in the Multilateral Madrid Convention of July 3rd, 1880, Article 15, Paragraph 1, as follows. Article 15, quote unquote, quote, any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country and who shall return to Morocco shall, after having remained for a length of time equal to that which shall have been regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization, choose between entire submission to the laws of the empire and the obligation to quit Morocco, unless it shall be proved that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco. End quote. Recognizing further that the Act of Algeciras preamble of April 7, 1906, solidified the sovereign equal rights for the Moorish Empire and its Moorish governments in each of the territories to restore their independence by three simple preemptory norms as follows. 1, sovereignty and independence. 2, integrity of domains. And 3, economic liberty without any inequality. Furthermore, the WRC Convention also derives its self-governance rights from the customary norms of international law and the guiding principles enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations of 1945, Article 33, Paragraph 1, as follows. Quote, the parties to any dispute, the continuance of which is likely to endanger the maintenance of international peace and security, shall first of all seek a solution by negotiation, inquiry, mediation, conciliation, arbitration, judicial settlement, resort to regional agencies or arrangements, peaceful means of their own choice. End of quote. Whereas the WRC Convention shall serve as a regional agency, intergovernmental organization, and representative on case-by-case basis to help arrange peaceful means and security between the interdependent Moroccan states during our varying stages of advancement, and to assist in the settlement of disputes when dealing with the United States of America. The United States International Organization and its foreign union states, municipalities, corporations, persons, and aliens throughout the Moorish Empire. Affirming that the elected and appointed officials of the Wazir Regional Council are heretofore the competent authority of the convention and have full powers to carry out its provisions throughout the Moorish Empire. The region shall include, but not be limited to, each recognized self-governing Moroccan state territory and each non-self-governing seeking assistance to decolonize by declaring independence and depositing a competent constitution inter alia. Whereas the Wazir Regional Council is committed to reestablishing an organized dual society to bring together the interdependent provincial Moroccan states to be known as the United States of Morocco. Moreover, the Wazir Regional Council and its multiple heads of state are determined to bring the various provincial states together and eventually draft a constitution for the United States of Morocco and reestablish a centralized Moorish government on behalf of the native Moors and their provincial state governments. In the meantime, the Wazir Regional Council shall serve as a centralized body politic or intergovernmental organization for all the heads of state to convene together at a round table to begin the arduous task of restoring the Empire of Morocco, one colonized territory at a time. It is important to note that the native Moroccans and their de jure Moorish governments shall no longer acquiesce or consent to the privileged and limited civil and criminal extraterritoriality jurisdiction imposed by the de facto regime of the United States Intergovernmental Organization and its foreign chartered states, nor will the Moors capitulate, come under a protectorate status of the foreign United States of America. reaffirming that Moroccan nationals are no longer naturalized Moorish subjects or proteges in a foreign country. Convinced that friendly applications and mechanisms of decolonization are being instituted by Moroccan legislation and enforced by the competent consular courts of each Moorish state government to usher in a new governmental regime in an old land. Whereas each of the sovereign Moroccan states' competent consular courts has ordered the end of colonialism and the end of any alleged extraterritorial jurisdiction imposed by the United States of America, the United States, its chartered states, and municipalities. Wherefore the interdependent Moorish sovereign states shall combine their full powers and continue to seek cooperation with the so-called administrative colonial regime during the decolonization phase, as expressed in the United Nations Charter, Article 73, as follows, quote, members of the United Nations, which have or assume responsibilities for the administration of territories whose peoples have not yet attained a full measure of self-government, recognize the principle that the interests of the inhabitants of these territories are paramount, and accept as a sacred trust the obligation to promote to the utmost within the system of international peace and security established by the present charter, the well-being of the inhabitants of these territories. And to this end, A, to ensure with due respect for the culture of the peoples concerned, their political, economic, social, and educational advancement, their just treatment, and their protection against abuses. B, to develop self-government, to take due account of the political aspirations of the peoples, and to assist them in the progressive development of their free political institutions, according to the particular circumstances of each territory and its peoples, and their varying stages of advancement. C, to further international peace and security. D, to promote constructive measures of development, to encourage research, and to cooperate with one another, and when and where appropriate, with specialized international bodies with a view to the practical achievement of the social, economic, and scientific purposes set forth in this article. And E, to transmit regularly to the Secretary General for information purposes, subject to such limitation as security and constitutional considerations may require, statistical and other information of a technical nature relating to economic, social, and educational conditions in the territories of which they are respectively responsible, other than those territories to which Chapter 12 and 13 apply. End of quote. Whereas colonialism is coming to a speedy end by acts of Moorish state successions as a natural corollary with the preemptory norms of international law just cogents, and in conformity with the ordinary methods of uti possidetis juris norms throughout the Empire of Morocco. It is furthermore important to note that the United States of America is in fact and truth a foreign but privileged dependent state in the Empire of Morocco. However, the United States is not recognized as being a state, but in fact and truth, the United States is an international organization doing business in the Empire of Morocco. Nonetheless, the United States of America, the United States, and its several chartered states shall now come under the jurisdiction of the Moorish governments and the competent consular courts throughout the Empire of Morocco. Speaking of the competent consular court, the United States of America, the United States International Organization, and its charter states shall be bound to the International Court of Justice, case concerning the rights of nationals of the United States of America in Morocco, judgment of August 27, 1952, page 202, as follows, quote, in the absence of any treaty provisions dealing with this matter, it has been contended that a right of assent can be based on customs, usage, or practice. It is unnecessary to repeat the reasons which have been given for rejecting custom, usage, and practice as a basis for extended consular jurisdiction, and which are largely applicable to the right of assent. It is, however, necessary to point out that the very large number of instances in which Moroccan laws will refer to the United States authorities can readily be explained as a convenient way of ensuring their incorporation in ministerial decrees binding upon the consular courts. In that way, and in that way only, could these laws be made enforceable against the United States nationals, so long as the extended consular jurisdiction was being exercised. End of quote. For these reasons, stated above by the Honorable International Court of Justice in 1952, the foreign United States of America, the United States, and the several chartered states shall be subject to Moroccan law, and all final rulings made by the competent consular court, decrees, orders, judgments, and advisory opinions as a natural corollary to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of September 16, 1836, Articles 20 and 21 inter alia, wherefore anything contrary notwithstanding as follows. Quote, Article 20. If any of the citizens of the United States or any persons under their protection shall have any disputes with each other, the Council shall decide between the parties, and whenever the Council shall require any aid or assistance from our government to enforce his decision, it shall be immediately granted to him. Quote, quote, Article 21. If a citizen of the United States should kill or wound a Moor, or on the contrary, if a Moor shall kill or wound a citizen of the United States, the law of the country shall take place, and equal justice shall be rendered, the consul assisting at the trial, and if any delinquent shall make his escape, the consul shall not be answerable for him in any manner whatever. End of quote. Therefore, the competent consular court in each of the Moorish state territories shall be entitled to settle any disputes. 1. Between a Moorish state and the United States of America. 2. Between a Moorish state and the United States. 3. Between a Moorish national and a person of the United States. 4. Between a Moor and a foreign corporation, municipality, or association. 5. Between a Moorish state and a foreign chartered state. 6. Between two or more states. And 7. This list is not exhaustive. Recognizing further that the Wazir Regional Council has established a ratified, deposited, and promulgated judiciary hereby known as the Statutes of the Regional Supreme Court, also known as the RSC, to assist in the enforcement of the Convention of the Wazir Regional Council among Moroccan member states and Moroccan non-member states. Take note that the Regional Supreme Court is in full force and effect in accordance with the customary norms of international law. Wherefore, the judiciary will help settle contentious disputes between the Moorish member states and any non-member Moorish states for the purpose of peace and security throughout the Empire of Morocco. Reaffirming further that the Wazir Regional Council is open to other peace-loving Moroccan states and their heads of state in the obtainment of recognition by the Wazir Regional Council. The Wazir Regional Council has instituted a model instrument for non-self-governing territories to achieve competent state status. Recognition shall be conducted by a fair and equitable vote between the member states. Any non-self-governing territory seeking Moorish state status must conform to the ordinary methods of international law and the terms and conditions of the WRC Convention in order to be recognized as a competent provincial Moroccan state. In conclusion, it is imperative that the foreign United States of America, the United States International Organization, and its several union states, inter alia, conform with the ordinary methods of international law to settle any disputes regarding the ratified, deposited, and promulgated bilateral Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, the Multilateral Madrid Convention of 1880, the Multilateral Act of Algeciras of 1906, the Charter of the United Nations of 1945, and the Statutes of the International Court of Justice of 1946, inter alia. Wherefore, our declarations of independence and our collective ratified, deposited, and promulgated Moorish constitutions shall secure our human rights, the right to self-determination, the rights of indigenous peoples, and the right to self-governance, and ensure friendly relations via the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961, the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations of 1963, the Vienna Convention of the Law of Treaties of 1969, and the Customs of Consular Notification and Access Requirements. The full force and effect contracts mentioned above shall be adhered to without the prior assent of the United States of America or the United States, while the Moorish Empire is being decolonized without any interruption. Lastly, may the journalists of the world take notice and cover the competent rise of the Moors, because it's time for the United States to prove to the native Moors and to the rest of the world that democracy and respect for sovereign independence has meaning and not just some empty words. Respectfully, Abdul Smith Bey, Chairman of the Wazir Regional Council, Head of State for Lodia Morris Palladium, Ante, Georgia. Islam.